People are gonna call me crazier and wonder why I did what I did. Deception. Stop dealing in deception with people. When I met Ashley, I was openly polyamorous. I slept with women. I was upfront about it. I told her about my anger issues. I told her about my felony. I told her about prison. I told her about being controlling, violent, everything. I gave her every opportunity to walk away. I gave her every opportunity to be honest with me, but instead she chose to constantly deal in deception. I'm tired of it.
Y'all already know, I gotta ask you a question. Have y'all ever been in a relationship where you and your partner were upfront about everything? And I'm talking about you tell your partner where you're going, who you're going with, and what you plan on doing, even if it involves cheating. Now, I know being in love will make you stay with your mate through some serious stuff, but for that person to actually tell you when he or she is going to cheat is definitely something else. And as for myself, I couldn't do it. What's up, my beautiful people? I am the Mysterious Black Bandit. Welcome back to the #1 true crime / tragic events channel on YouTube. Now, I know you guys are ready to get into this video, but go ahead and help your boy out and hit that like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss out on any video when I upload. Once you've done that, let's get into this video. 38-year-old Ashley Hardin was a single mother of 3 children and was considered to be a very caring and sweet person who apparently enjoyed showing off her beautiful voice by singing on Facebook.
Tragedies are commonplace. All kinds of diseases, people are slipping away. All I can say is thank you, Lord, for all you've done for me. Yeah.
Now, besides singing, the one thing that she adored was her kids and spending time with them. Although Ashley was no longer with her kid's father, she was determined to find a good father figure to help her raise her children, and this is when Rayshawn Smith came into the picture. Ashley and Rayshawn had been dating for a while, and just like any other relationship, they had their ups and downs, but for the most part, Ashley had fell in love with this man. After spending so much time together, she eventually allowed him to move in with her and her kids on 300 block of Cole Avenue in Rockford, Illinois, about 90 miles northwest of Chicago. Now, Rayshawn had a bit of a criminal history, but from the looks of it, he was trying to better himself and even wrote a book called Social Path or Wrong Path, Memoir of a Teenage Drug Dealer. Now, I read some of the book, and from what I got from it, he just talked about being a drug dealer at a young age, going to prison, and overcoming many obstacles. Now, from all the pictures Ashley and Rayshawn posted on social media, you would think that they were both head over heels for each other. And to be honest, I do think that Ashley was truly in love with him. But Rayshawn, on the other hand, seemed to be just going through the motions. Of course, he would spend a lot of time with her and the children, but people like Rayshawn are sociopaths, meaning they are very charming, intelligent, and spontaneous people that uses that to their advantage to lie, deceive, and manipulate people to get what they want. I'm not sure if it was by coincidence or if he actually knew, but the title of his book was a dead giveaway. For years, Ashley and Rayshawn lived in her home together, appearing to be one of the happiest and loving couples on social media, but behind closed doors, things were going downhill. Allegedly, Rayshawn told her at the beginning of their relationship that he wasn't a one-woman man and he was going to cheat on her with whoever he wanted to mess around with. However, Ashley wasn't allowed to talk to, let alone cheat with anybody. Needless to say, this didn't go too well, and after a while, it finally came to a head. Ashley could no longer deal with his narcissistic behavior and put him out her house. Now, Ashley knew Rayshawn had problems and could be controlling at times, but unfortunately, she didn't know she was dealing with a complete psychopath. On Saturday, July 23rd, 2022, Ashley and her son were sitting on the couch watching TV when she could smell a strong gasoline odor. So Ashley sat there and looked around for a second to see if she could pinpoint where it could be coming from, but the smell seemed to be coming from all over the house. Being that it was just her and her children there, she started to get a little worried that maybe one of her children were playing around with gas. But she soon realized that everyone was asleep besides her and her son. Then she walked towards the door and noticed that the aroma had become even stronger, and this is when she walked out the house to investigate. Once she made it outside the door, she spotted a white vehicle with tinted windows just sitting there with their headlights on. Her son, who was just standing there, began to walk out, but as soon as he stepped foot out that door, his mother instructed him to go back inside and close the door. Not thinking anything of it, he goes back and starts watching TV, but after some time went by, he goes back to the door to check on his mom, and she was nowhere to be found. In a panic, he runs and grabs the phone and calls the police to report his mother being missing. Around 3:45 that morning, officers with the Rockford Police Department arrived at their residence to evaluate the scene, and Ashley's son tells them he's seen his mom next to a white vehicle talking to someone, and after a while, her and that car vanished. Now, for hours, the detectives searched all throughout the city for Ashley and this white vehicle, but without any details, they didn't have any luck. But just a few hours later, the police department received a report of a deceased body lying on the ground behind Ecolab, which was a company in Roscoe, Illinois. So the investigators quickly rushed over to the scene and discovered the gruesome truth. 38-year-old Ashley Hardin had been murdered. The investigators stated at first glance, it didn't seem like Ashley had been shot, but she did have significant injuries to her head. But then again, around the crime scene, they found 2 live rounds and several unused zip ties. Whomever did this also left the projectile that was used, which was a hammer or pole, underneath her head. During their investigation, they learned that Ashley's ex-boyfriend, Rayshawn, actually worked at the Ecolab where they found her body. Then in addition to that, surveillance footage captured Rayshawn entering the parking lot building in a white Cadillac at 2:55 a.m., which was 50 minutes before Ashley was reported missing, and then left nearly 45 minutes later. It was alleged that between the hours of 2 a.m. and 5 a.m., Rayshawn secretly confined Ashley against her will inside his car, took her to this empty parking lot, murdered her, then posted a freaking video trying to justify his actions, in which he tagged Ashley's Facebook page so her friends and family could see.
People are gonna call me crazier and wonder why I did what I did. Deception. Stop dealing in deception with people. When I met her, she had just stopped pastor in his church. When I met Ashley, I was openly polyamorous. I slept with women. I was upfront about it. I told her about my anger issues. I told her about my felony. I told her about prison. I told her about being controlling, violent, everything. I gave her every opportunity to walk away. I gave her every opportunity to be honest with me, but instead she chose to constantly deal in deception.
Family members and friends really hoped that Ashley was still alive, but of course, it was a little too late. One of Ashley's close friends stated that Rayshawn was attempting to drive a wedge between the two.
I knew that he had problems, but I never, in my wildest dreams, never thought he would play God and decide whether she lives or she's gone. He pulled her from me, where we didn't actually speak for 3 years, from 2017 until January of 2020, when she reached back out to me.
With this discovery, Rayshawn was quickly named as the prime suspect in Ashley's death, and shortly before 11 a.m. that same day, he was pulled over at a traffic stop on 300 block of North Main Street in Rockford, Illinois, and was placed under arrest. As they searched the vehicle that he was driving, police recovered a machete, zip ties, Ashley's medications, and traces of blood was also found. As the investigation continued, detectives went to Ashley's home and discovered 3 milk jugs filled with gasoline, and one of them had seemingly been emptied out on and around the house. Ashley's mother felt that Rayshawn initially wanted to kill the whole family by setting the house on fire, but after they smelled the gasoline and came outside, he had to go with his other plan, which was to just kill Ashley. As a result of this, Rayshawn was being charged with first-degree murder, aggravated kidnapping, and aggravated unlawful restraint. Now, before these charges were put on Rayshawn, Judge Tamika Walker ordered him to undergo a mental health evaluation just to make sure he was thinking right.
Rayshawn Smith appears in court for the first time after he's accused of kidnapping and killing his ex-girlfriend. Ashley Hardin was reported missing early Saturday morning from her Cole Avenue home. According to the criminal complaint, Hardin and her son went outside after smelling gasoline. There was a car parked on the street, and she told her son to go back into the house. That was the last time Hardin was seen alive. A few hours later, the 38-year-old's body was found by Roscoe police behind a business on East Rockton Road. Smith is charged with first-degree murder, aggravated kidnapping, and aggravated unlawful restraint. Police say he was found with a machete, Hardin's phone, and medication. Smith is being held on a $2 million bond. He's due back in court August 31st.
Rayshawn Smith pled guilty to first-degree murder and is facing life in prison without the possibility of parole. Now, his next court date was set for December of 2022, but Rayshawn wouldn't make it to his sentencing.
A report from Illinois State Police says around 7 a.m. Christmas Day, Smith was found in his cell hanging from a torn bed sheet. The report says it wasn't until the next day guards found Smith's body.
Officials say correctional officer Lisette Ontiveros was supposed to check on Smith, but she didn't finish her rounds, even though she falsified in a logbook that she did before leaving for the night.
And that will bring this shocking video to an end. And I usually go into this long soliloquy about how you shouldn't deal with men that do such and such and this and that. But what do y'all think about polygamous relationships? Now, I know I couldn't do it, but I have seen a few people out there that are actually doing this and enjoying it too. And I know that it's supposed to help everyone financially and whatever. But like I said, I want to hear from you guys down in the comments. All right, family, if you enjoy content like this, you already know what to do. Help your boy out and hit that like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. Y'all make sure you live and let live. And until next time, stay mysterious, my friends.